It all began in Los Angeles, California, in the charity ward of the county hospital. The file number was 149502. The mother's name, Gladys Baker. The mother's last name from a broken marriage. The child was named Norma Jean. The birth certificate carried the name Mortensen. It was a fake. Norma Jean was illegitimate, but history was being written this June 1st. For this unwelcomed baby would go from obscurity to be desired by millions. This misbegotten ward of the court would turn the heads of kings and queens, marry an internationally acclaimed author and a sports superstar, hobnob with the jet set, meet mafia bosses, the nation's attorney general, and shake the very foundations of the White House and the family of the President of the United States. She became the beloved of millions, but one too many got next to her. Was it suicide or murder?
Marilyn took my advice on many occasions during the 16-year period that we knew each other. There were many times that she didn't take it. I would say the most crucial time that she did not take my advice was on the Friday night before her death, when she telephoned to me, and I was back east, and she told me about a press conference that she was going to have to announce her affairs with Bobby Kennedy and Jack Kennedy on Monday morning if she could not reach Bobby Kennedy over that weekend, which of course she was very unsuccessful in doing. And I told her to forget that, and she mentioned the fact that she had the diary of everything that Bobby Kennedy had told her, and I told her that was a walking time bomb. And I said, do yourself a favor. Get rid of the diary, don't hold the press conference, and forget the Kennedys completely. They're out of your life now. Don't pull them back in. And of course, she didn't do that. And she ended up dead on Saturday night.
Robert Slatzer, film director and author, was married to Marilyn for a short period in her early days in Hollywood and remained her friend and confidant until her untimely death.
This pretty girl came with a nice shape, I might add, came through the revolving door, and the door sort of hit her in the back in the derriere, I might say, and she dropped this great big scrapbook she had, and she didn't have a sophisticated book that had a big zipper around it like you see today, like you see girls carry who are models and actresses. It was literally an old scrapbook. It was tied together with string, and it fell on the floor. Pictures went all directions, and in the meantime she almost tore off part of her heel by getting through the door when that happened. So I was sitting there, and I sort of came to the rescue, and I helped her put the pictures back in place and everything. And before she was called for her interview that she was out there to see, which was her first time at a studio, I got her phone number, she got mine, where I was staying at the old Hollywood Plaza Hotel at that time, and we made a dinner date that night, and that was the beginning of what was to become a 16-year relationship.
Hollywood in the late 1930s was called Heartbreak City due to the number of young ladies that arrived with stardom in their eyes and $1 in their pockets. Tinseltown had more pretty waitresses waiting for their big break than the total number of executives and technicians in all of the studios. The few who did make it were the toast of the town and the imaginary sweethearts of the world. Norma Jean didn't have to take a train or bus to Hollywood. She went to high school in the shadow of the giants, MGM, Warner's, Fox, RKO, Paramount. The blossoming teenager went to the movies at every opportunity. Her favorite was the blonde bombshell Jean Harlow.
You know we drink that water?
Stop! See, can a girl take a bath in privacy without... Oh, good morning.
Red Dust, storm-lashed story of passions at fever heat in the steaming Malay jungle.
Jean Harlow ran away from home at the age of 16. Norma Jean, the future Marilyn Monroe, escaped into marriage at 16.
Jim Dougherty, who was the first person to marry Marilyn, that marriage was sort of a marriage of convenience, because when the foster home people The people who had the foster home that were raising Marilyn were leaving to go back to Kentucky. Why, Marilyn would had to do one of two things. She'd either have to get married or she would have to go to an orphanage. And that's the way the law read in California back in 1942. And so the marriage to James Dougherty was a marriage of convenience. James Dougherty was a neighbor of the foster home people where Marilyn lived at the time. And that marriage, of course, came to an end when Dougherty went to the Merchant Marines back around 1943, and Marilyn divorced him in 1946 while he was still on a ship over in the Indian Ocean.
Shortly after the marriage, Norma Jean went to work in an aircraft factory owned by the actor-inventor Reginald Denny. It was here she took up a modeling career. The legend was about to begin.